Hello everyone, welcome back to Kids Can Code Python. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to find the factorial of a number using the while loop in Python. So let's head back to our drawing board. Let's start with what is a factorial of a number. So the factorial of a number is the result of multiplying a number by every whole number below it, all the way down to 1. Remember, it's 1, not 0. Because if it's 0, then the answer would always be 0. We all know that. A factorial is always written with the exclamation point symbol. An example of a factorial is 5 factorial, which is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That is 120. Now let's come up with the formula for finding a factorial. And we know that 2 factorial is 2 times 1. 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And 10 factorial is 10 times 9 times 8 and all the way down to 1. So similarly, we can come up with the formula that n factorial is equal to n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times and on until you multiply it by 1. To write the factorial program in Python, we're going to use loops because we're repeatedly multiplying a number by its previous number until we reach 1. We're going to use the while loop in Python. Its syntax is while, and inside the parentheses, we're going to write the condition. Then we're going to give a colon and write down the statements like what we want to do if the condition comes true. And remember, there's a keyword called break, and it's used to stop the loop. So let's head back to Visual Studio to write our factorial program. So let's start with an empty line. And I'm going to make my heading of my program. And I'm going to call it program to find the factorial of a number. And I'm going to end it off with another blank line. I'm going to go down the line now, accept the input from the user. So this block of code right here, it accepts the input from the user and stores it in a variable called num. So now that I have the input from the user, I need to validate. So I'm going to type in if, and inside the brackets, I'm going to type in num is less than 0. And inside the if statement, I'm going to type in print, enter, positive integers only. And then after that, I'm going to exit. And similarly, I'm going to type in elif num double equal to 0. And inside the elif statement, print number should be greater than 0. And then I'm going to exit the program. So now I need a variable called factorial. I'm going to assign its starting value 1. Now let's write the actual while loop. So I'm going to go down 2 lines, type in while num not equal to 1. Remember, because we want to stop at 1. I'm going to go down a line, and inside the while loop, factorial is equal to factorial times num. So what this does, it takes factorial and it multiplies it with num, then stores it back in the variable factorial. On the next line, I'm going to decrement num. Why? Because I want to now multiply num with its previous number. That's it with the while loop, because this will keep on repeating until the condition becomes false, and when it does, num will be equal to 1, and then the while loop will break. Now let's print our final answer. Go down the line, and I'm going to type in print the factorial of your number is factorial, because that's going to be our result. Now let's run it and see if it works. So when I run the program, it says program to find the factorial of a number. That's our heading. And I'm going to type in 5. And it says the factorial of your number is 120. So now, just out of curiosity, I'm going to run it again. And for the number, I'm going to type in 100. And it says, whoa, that's a big number. That's it for this video, guys. See you in the next one. And please remember, if you like my videos, please subscribe. It really motivates me to make more content. See you!